Hello.
Hi.
So we have our old friend, the uh, is that Glenn?
Yes, sorry I'm late.
Okay, okay, cool. Uh, so yeah, let's get started. But I think it's normal for the early age, I mean, for the age of the early language. Actually, I want to share a couple things we have in our roadmap. So uh, last week we made a beta preview of the MoonBit language. So expected we have a formal, it's still a preview, so it's still beta preview. So we expect we will get a formal beta status in 3 months. I think it's November 22nd. So also we expect, but if there's something might be changed, we may expect we may open source the compiler by the time.
Great.
And I think, yeah, so I think that by the time of the end of the November, so we'll get almost all the important features in language. All the only exception is the async. Async is so it's the if that's the main part we want to finish in the year of two next year. So and after we finish the async support, then we can almost, I think, almost 1.0. This is the major thing we're working on. At the same time, I think we have two focus. One is of course, the complement the whole ecosystem, add more tools, and the other focus we are working on is have our AI native IDE. So, oh yeah, so from language point of view, we're also going to have the native backend support by the end of this year, I think. So we have three targets. One is the WebAssembly and the WebAssembly GC and JavaScript and the native backend. So we're shipped with the native backend. I think so.
That'll
And
be
after,
wonderful. In
yeah.
fact, I was going to ask you about that because I thought when I first tried MoonBit that I could compile to native, but then at some point I thought it went away. Did it
Oh,
ever compile to
oh
native?
no, we never shipped the native support. It's still work in progress. But
Oh,
I
okay.
think we'll get there in the end of this year. But technically, you can compile the native because you can compile to the Wasm E1, right? Compile to Wasm 1, then you use the Wasm 1 to the C compiler. Technically, you can do this today, but it's not very beautiful. So yeah, but we are working on that so we can get the native the backend by the end of this year.
Okay.
Yeah, that's from language point of view. Yeah, that's the one main focus, and the other focus is our AI native IDE. So do you play with the cursor or like the or that or there's something? So we think because we own the whole movie language tone train, and we also do the same thing like the cursor. So we also fork the VS Code out add our native the AI capabilities to the movie. I think the thing different from the other general AI plugins is our AI assistant tools is the hey how do meet how do I pronounce your name? We have a new guest, Mithish. Good morning. Yeah. Yeah. So the other focus we are going to have is the AI native plugin because we compared with other existing plugins which has the support any language, right? We only support the MoonBit language. Actually, I can show you. Let me share the screen. Uh, yeah, I think I can share the share screen here. It's already available in our playground. For example, I can show you one cool feature is try the movielong.com. For example, you can already try today because if I remove document are two functions, right? I can just say doc all, and then it will generate a documentation uh, for all the code which doesn't have documentation. So it's in the batch style. Why? So actually, this is not available in Copilot or in Cursor because it's a language aware. So okay, no, there's several functions which missing the documentation. Then we can send the in parallel. We can send the prompt in parallel to the LLM. Then you generate the documentation. Then we can just replace back, set the back the documentation, and then you get the AI generate documentation on the fly. You can also like do the in parallel like the I can explain improve. For example, in the future you can say improve all the code in the same file or in the sorry improve all the code in the same file or in the package level. So and also because we know the language, we can write insert the code insert diff back to the IDE. I think we can do a better job to have the uh, even integrate AI experience. So
Wow, that's very
yeah,
cool.
yeah, yeah. So it can already is now it's already available to anyone in our browser. Yes, and we'll do the same like the cursor, but only for the one language, MoonBit. And actually, one thing MoonBit quite different is from other languages. Our language is block style. What do you mean by block style? It's like the actually for all the function top level, you can move around. You can just drag but it's not implemented yet. But it's in our roadmap. You can drag the whole function into other place, and it still works. It's like the stretch code editor, but it's only in the block level. So you can move the code around. You can create a context very easily for a single function. In that case, the large language model can quickly figure out the context and do the code completion or whatever you want. That's the one major focus. We think we can do better than other language because
Very cool.
we yeah because there's no legacy and there's no legacy for example if you do this for the existing language like the Java or whatever, it's very hard to change language. But now MoonBit doesn't have too much legacy. We were born in the same time of the ChatGPT. Another powerful stuff is we can combine this with the traditional AI auto completion. For example, you can do we can when the AI generated code, right? We can use our existing autocomplete to filter the AI generated code. So when the AI generated tokens in a small range, you can tell, hey, self doesn't only have this such method, so you cannot generate any illegal method. This can be done in a very fast iteration. So we believe we can generate more type correct code. So it's not just using the existing large language model. Also, it's like very vertical integrated large language model into MoonBit.
That's
So
great.
yeah, so we have two focus. One is enrich the MoonBit ecosystem, more better tools, more solid IDE. The other is AI integration. Yeah, so I think Mitri is not there. I will share our roadmap, brief for brief. So it's the last week we announced our pre-beta review, and then in the 3 months we expect we'll get a formal beta review, and at the same time we expect we'll open source our compiler. And then in the next year we are going to have the async support. So we're close to finish the 1.0. By the end of this year, we're also going to have three backends: the WebAssembly, JavaScript, and native. Yeah. So we also have collected some questions from the online. I think I can, if you have any question, I can answer you. At the same time, I can answer some question I collected online. It's the first question is MoonBit has many aspects of a function language, like powerful meta match, pattern matching. What was the main reason for doing this? Does its choice decrease the runtime performance? So the question, I think pattern match was traditionally connected to the functional language, but I don't think pattern match is the functional language only feature. I think pattern matching is most like the data-oriented programming, right? Data-oriented programming. Actually, MoonBit is a multi-paradigm programming. We support like the imperative, the functional, and sort of the object-oriented programming. And one particular highlight we want to do is the data-oriented programming. So actually, we want to get a pattern match, very very expressive, and also like the JSON. Like we have built-in for support for the JSON. I can show you like the x equal blah. If I take JSON, you just type check. So this is also part of our plan of the support of data data-oriented programming. So we want to make data-oriented much easier. In our roadmap, we also want to get like the anyway, we also want to have the first-class support for the Alexa, the rejects. So you can auto pattern match of the rejects and get the captures. So it makes the data processing very easier. And I think in next week or maybe 1 week after, we will have like automatic deriving JSON. So we are MoonBit is a multi-paradigm programming language, but we have focused on the data processing. We want to make the data processing easier and efficient. That's the one. I think one thing we want to focus on is data oriented programming. Yeah, that's the one online question we collected. The other question is what's the plan for ecosystem? This is a very broad this is a very broad question. To be honest, I think for most language, it's a very multi-year. I think it's like even 1 decade, multi-decade effort. But for MoonBit, because we already have the very, very rich experience in building language tools, so I think we can accelerate the whole development plan. Like for example, we can make for traditional language, it may take like 10 years to take off. We believe for MoonBit language, we can have like it can be short accelerated into like the 3 or 4 years. 3 years, I think 3 years or 3 or 4 years to get the 1.0 status. And at the same time, for example, we already have the support for component model. We're also trying to ship other tools, like for example, like the GitHub code bot. So provide some real world examples to how to use the MoonBit for real world application. And I just noticed this morning, like the Z editor, their plugins also WebAssembly provide WebAssembly API, so we can make also the MoonBit language to develop the API for the plugins Z editor.
Did you say
I will
for
have
Z?
another. Yeah, Z, yeah, ZED.
Z. And I think VS Code also supports WebAssembly plugins, right?
Soon, I think it's in the roadmap, but in the preview roadmap, but not technical, not there yet. But in
Oh,
the roadmap.
I thought you could
Mhm.
install an extension that will run WebAssembly plugins.
Let me check out. But I think they are in the roadmap, not there's some preview status, not officially in the
Oh, okay.
product that we check out. So, yeah. Yes. So we're also going to launch a program called the mini MoonBit in MoonBit. So we are trying to, for education purpose, we're trying to build a mini MoonBit compiler in the MoonBit language itself to show you how the whole compiler is built in MoonBit itself for the education purpose.
Cool.
So yeah, so actually I'm pretty, even though there's only 2 audience today, but I'm pretty optimistic about the future plan. We expect, I think we already have like close to 10,000 users, maybe not daily users, maybe just occasional users today. We expect actually we can get a real 10,000 users by the end of this year and 100,000 users by the end of next year, and 1 million users in 2026. I know it's
Yeah,
I'm optimistic.
I think
And,
so. I think that's not unreasonable.
I'm very I think we are lucky. Actually, we are lucky to build because without the I think the sky ceiling will be not too high because a new language, but with the AI trend, if we have a brand new language which will just be designed for the AI friendly and AI integration, there will be a big opportunities. That's in my opinion. So I'm very optimistic. Even though not too many years, but it's just typical. I mean, for new language at this stage, yeah, it's typical scenario. Yeah, this is the
That's
second
great.
question. Thank you, thank you. Yeah. For the mission, if you have any question, feel free to ask. I'm very happy to answer. So we have another question: is the plan for the FFI, .d.ts and IDEO generate. Actually, just yesterday, I want to show you a very nice feature. Can you see my playground?
Yes.
Yeah, so yesterday we have shipped a new feature to make the option label very, very easy to use. So I have for example, I'm building a UI stuff called a div. So I have with, I have a new feature called the int height optional. So it's like the label title optional. Uh, what does it mean? I'll show you later. So inside the function, I call it let with call with yeah dot default 300, right? I can so MoonBit will be a very easy language to build your AI stuff. I can say or default 400. Then here I have like the unit. Anyway, so print yeah, not sure why here is option as the it's weird. Anyway, but the idea is uh okay, also I see I got it. Okay.
Hi,
Wait.
I have a question. Sorry.
Go ahead. Hmm?
So my English is very poor, but I have some question. And
Hmm?
uh,
Hmm.
at first, is there a plan to self-hosting by MoonBit? It's
This
for
or sorry, we'll plan self-hosting. You mean the mini movie in movies? You mean this project?
self-hosting. Yeah.
So in the long term, yes, we want to build a whole compiler in Moon itself.
Yeah.
But currently the compiler is built in OCaml. It's a huge, gigantic OCaml file. So yeah, two things. One is for the educational purpose. So like I think it's actually by the Tokyo University. They have a
Yeah.
project called Mini OCaml in OCaml. So want to do the same thing with the MoonBit, where they want to do like the whole compiler called the Mini MoonBit, a subset of MoonBit language. A
Uh,
subset of MoonBit language. Yeah.
for example,
Actually,
uh,
you are typing?
I would be happy if it work on the browser compiler.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, actually, I think we have a project. The whole compiler actually now is actually running in your browser, and now maybe in the next week, probably in the next week, currently the compiler doesn't store your files, right? So when you refresh your browser, your
mm,
file is lost. Actually, I think probably in the 1 week, in next week or 1 week after, our online ID can fetch
okay.
the code from the GitHub repo. So you
Okay.
can fetch the code from GitHub repo, and you can make your change, and you can push your code back to the GitHub repo. So then you get the whole IDE, whole self-hosted in
Mm,
your locally, and you can store your edited files in the GitHub. So you can also persist in your files. So yeah, we will soon have the full working IDE in the browser. Uh,
okay.
yeah, and I think it will scale to like the 10,000 line code. So for like a project which has like 10,000 line code, you will will have a very good experience in your browser, just in your browser. Yeah.
Mm,
Does this
okay.
answer your question? Mhm.
Um, okay. The second thing,
Mhm.
how do you think about a component model ecosystem like WAG.io or other component interface driven and languages FFI?
Yeah, actually, I think you already know we are investing in a component model. So we already have the demos like the running in the Watson cloud or Spring or other private cloud, and we're also trying to build other application like the GitHub code review bot in the component model. Yeah, so we are investing in a component model. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, but the thing is, is a standardized process which is out of our own control, right? So we have to wait. We just to see what they give to us, and then we take advantage of what is already there. But we cannot control the progress. We have to wait the standardized committee to push it forward. Yeah,
Okay.
but I think it's very good. Actually, it's very good for us because compared with the Watson E, Watson one. So for the Watson one, you have to build the high level API on top of the libc,
Mhm.
and then you lose the benefit of the WebAssembly. You want it lightweight, right? So if you build all the library on top of the libc, then you get a huge, large the binary size of the web. I'm more in favor of the WASM two, WASI two. Yeah, the
Mhm. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So I'm basically a front-end developer, and I
Mm,
use the TypeScript as a front-end
mm,
language. But
mm, mm, mm.
if we can use MoonBit as a front-end language, I want to use it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
cool. Actually, the feature I'm showing you is you will be like it. Let me finish. So it's very useful for the AI stuff. So we have you get a very close to like the GSX experience. So you can build AI UI in the 200 in the for example, you can like the container anyway color anyway. So you can already have some like JSX like the uh, div, right? Uh, so we can add a JSX, native JSX support if there's
Oh,
a heavy demand. But I think this is very close, very close to the JSX in
mm.
the, yeah. So, yeah. So, but the difference is between the MoonBit and the RISC-V. Do you know the RISC-V? The language I built before.
Yeah,
It
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And
So there's some philosophy difference from the RISC-V. So RISC-V is like it has very good FFI with the JavaScript. So people will typically use the JavaScript libraries instead of build their own libraries, right? This is very easy. This is very good for if you just get it on board, get the RISC-V and use it for production. It's very good. But I
mm,
think this makes the ecosystem hard to build because everyone is using the JavaScript bindings. Everyone is using the JavaScript bindings, so they don't, because it's so easy to create bindings on JavaScript. So they just write a wrapper on top of JavaScript and then use REST. I think the philosophy of MoonBit is we hopefully want to engage people to build the libraries in MoonBit itself
mhm,
instead of the using JavaScript library and the query wrapper.
mm.
So yeah, so these are some minor philosophy difference. Yeah. Hope this answer your questions. Yeah. So actually, I have the last question I collected online is when will MoonBit have a compiler that can also run directly in the browser without NET request? So the answer is we technically already have the compiler run in the browser without NET request. And the good thing is because the whole compiler is built in the OCaml, so today is compiled to JavaScript. But in the OCaml community, they also have a compiler compiled to the WebAssembly, and I noticed the performance actually two times faster than the JavaScript counterpart.
Mm.
So, but it's not available in all browsers. It's not available in all browsers. So when it's available in all browsers, we switch our compiler JavaScript version compiler to just to WebAssembly. So actually, you get an even twice faster experience than today's compiler run in the browser. Yeah. So the answer is yes, and we will have an even faster one in the near future. Yeah. Yes.
Uh,
So it's mhm.
oh, Front-end developers have many libraries in NPM, and I tried Biscuit, but I can't use it as a production because FFI is not so wide or
You mean you're seeing it for the risk or for the MoonBit? For risk or MoonBit? I mean
Biscuit about Biscuit. Yeah. So
hey, do you actually I didn't follow the developer even though I'm the original creator for the risk language, but I didn't follow the recent progress. But from I read on Twitter news, actually risk FFI has been evolved quite good for the interacting with the JavaScript. For the MoonBit, actually the kind of one valid use case, if you can export your movie library as a npm library for the JavaScript users, right? That's one thing. The other is if your library, for example, we already have shown you like the if your library has a very small surface API, for example, you're doing the Canvas API. If you're doing the Canvas API, what? If you do that, if we are doing the Canvas API, very small amount, you can build this, just build the bindings by yourself. Yeah, so in the long term, I think we also provide a TypeScript bindings to library users. So we are building a you're building a MoonBit library and you want to export to the JavaScript user, right? So the technically the compiler can generate the .d.ts file to the JavaScript users. I think it's on in our the TypeScript bindings to JavaScript users. But there are two directions. One is export your MoonBit libraries to the JavaScript user. That's already I think it's already a smooth way to do that. But if you want to use JavaScript libraries in the MoonBit, technically you can do it using our external just write the raw JavaScript. We can do that. But the thing is, the JavaScript, most JavaScript API, like for TypeScript library, they are unsound. So they are only help you to get your better code completion, but they're technically unsound. So you cannot really take advantage of the MoonBit type system unless you are making sure the FFI is writing correct, which is very hard work. Yeah, so we want to push more people to write the libraries in MoonBit itself and export to JavaScript users. It's technically possible to pull in the JavaScript libraries, but it's difficult. Yeah, and I admit that. Yeah. For example, actually, I think I encourage people to do something like there are some very good libraries built in the Elm community called like the T architecture, right? I think that can be easily ported to MoonBit, so you can have the whole UI just built in the MoonBit. That's yeah. So then we can.
Is there any plan to expose TypeScript typed interface, or use component itself?
Sorry, can you say again? I don't follow you. So you mean, expose TypeScript what? TypeScript.
From MoonBit, and is there any plan to expose TypeScript code to glue code?
Oh yeah. So you mean if I write the code in MoonBit and export JavaScript and the TypeScript declarations to the JavaScript users, right? So that's your question?
DTS file.
Oh yeah. So that's in our roadmap. That's in our roadmap.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. So we have two minutes left. I think maybe just one time for one question, or we can stop here. Thank you very much for coming today, and yeah, thank you, Glenn.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Have a nice day. Have a nice day. Yeah.
Thanks, you too.
Cool. Bye. Have a good day. Bye bye.